What's good, people? We are here. We are back with another episode of Quality Over Quarantine. We're keeping things moving. We've been going at a mad pace recently, and I gotta let you lot know as well. Yeah, this pace is only for the lockdown, and it's gonna be slowing down soon because we've been hitting you with mad content, and I've been hearing that we're giving you too much in it. We're giving you too much, so we're gonna slow things down again. But before we do slow things down, we got to keep it moving, innit? So I need to introduce the one and only Kasha Rae. What are you saying, brother?
I'm air cuz. I'm air cuz.
Yeah,
He's in.
it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Thank you for having me.
Nah, and you know what's cool, right? The reason I'm looking forward to this year because like you're one of them guys, yeah, that every time we have conversations, yeah, it's always deep, like it's always levels, and like and you know what's funny, yeah? You were messaging me yesterday, yeah, and I was like, I don't want to say too much, yeah, because if I say too much, we're gonna start talking, yeah. We're gonna be missing some gold, like, yeah. But how you been though? How you been? Because another thing as well, I ain't spoken to you like offline.
Yeah.
I ain't spoken to you for a good couple of months. So how you been, man?
Yeah. Do you know what? Like anyone, I think I've been like this, bro. It's been it's been a weird one. It's been a weird one. All sorts of stuff has happened in the sense like I started off, yeah, whatever. That's in China.
Yep.
That's in China. Do you know what I mean? Italy, yeah. Okay, Italy, yeah. What? Toilet roll, yeah. Toilet roll. What's going on? Toilet roll. You know. And then like we got to the point where we had to do the big shopping and the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the yada. So like I was seriously preparing just to kind of be in the bunker, bro. You know what I mean? Like be in the bunker, no daylight, just out here with pasta.
Yeah.
But then that passed, and it just kind of got to a point where, for me, I needed to take some time to. I suppose we all got sat down. Yeah, we all got sat down, whether we liked it or not. We all had real spare time on our hands, time to really go within. And I always believe in everything for a reason. And if you're given that sort of time, then you've got to utilize it. Do you get what I'm saying? You've got to utilize it. And I've definitely been in a space where I've just gone in now, and I'm just coming out with the ideas and you know what I'm coming out with, fam? A sense of like greater gratitude for certain things.
Yeah.
A sense of real self-understanding.
Mm.
Like real self-understanding. Like I've had some moments with myself. I'm sure we all have. You get what I'm saying? Where you're like, okay, that's how I really feel. Everything slowed down. Like, the race of life just got slowed down. Do you know what I mean? And in those quiet little slow moments, man was just sitting there thinking, well, what really matters?
It's funny you say that, yeah, because before, like, with these interviews, yeah, and obviously for me it's just I'm talking to my brethren, isn't it? So it's not a case of like, oh, I'm gonna ask him this question or that question. There's a certain things that come to me, but one of the things that came to me was like over your career, which we're gonna get into, yeah, you're kind of person who you wear different hats in it, like you switch things up, like you never been afraid of changing like the image, like of how things look. And my question was like, how do you see yourself, yeah? And is there a level of self-awareness? Now I know that you have a high level of self-awareness, but or that's what it seems like to me. It always seems like you know what you're doing. Is that the case?
I'm gonna say no, but yeah. Like
Okay.
there's two sides to that. I know what I'm doing when it comes to writing. Writing since I was a young boy has always been something that's just very easy to me.
Yeah.
And understanding what I'm trying to do when writing a piece, very, very clear to me. What I'm trying to achieve for both myself and the listener, very, very clear to me. But the understanding of self has only, it comes slowly through life, just like anything.
Yeah.
And I believe at each point I've had a very high awareness of who and what I am and what I represent, but I don't feel like I've ever truly fully understood my own narrative and what it was I was trying to really say to my audience or say to any listener that might have followed me across this time.
Yeah.
Although I might have worn many hats and stuff like that, I think that was me finding myself like any musician, just trying things out, spreading my wings. You know what I mean? Trying musical things because I'm interested in lots of different musical styles.
I know.
As much as we're rappers, there's lots of music that speaks to me. So to interpret that into my own music is only natural. But really solidifying what and who I represent to my audience, I only think it's starting to come about now, really, bro. And I've still got certain questions I still ask myself now where I'm like, what is it you're trying to give here? Do you know what I mean? And slowly but surely I'm putting together all those answers. They're definitely coming. But yes, I do have an awareness of myself as a person and as a human being. In terms of the music and writing, yes, there's a higher level of awareness, but the actual narrative that I've been trying to, like when you, I don't know what you think when you say my name or when people say my name, but I don't think I have a strong brand. That's what I feel like. I don't feel like there's a solid, that's what Kasha's about kind of theme around me. I think it's always been a bit too loose,
See, to me, that's mad, because like it's everything you're saying is 100% on nail on the head, But at the same time, for you to understand that as well, to see that from the angle you're seeing it at, to me is like that's a superpower in itself. Because I always feel the same way. I'm always like, and you know what's jokes as well, This is the funny thing about it. So the first time, like I knew of you, of like you doing your thing, whatever, and I knew your name. But the first time that I really like bucked you properly was there was a show in around Old Street.
Jam.
And I can't remember who. I remember. Right. So you was there. I remember Disu was there as well. And it was a mad one because I remember looking off stage performing and I remember her just rapping all my lyrics. So that always just stuck in my head like, rah, who's this girl? This girl knows every bar spitting. But I remember you came on, and at the time as well. So I was performing, we're talking like 2010 or before.
Probably before.
Yeah, like it could have been.
I remember saying to you that my album just dropped and you already had like 5 records out. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely around 2009.
Yeah, easily.
Late 2009, early 10.
Yeah, so I'm spitting like, still doing like the boom bap, the hard stuff, and you would come on and you were spitting a track, and not only like the track you were spitting, but like just how you were dressed, the whole image, it was just like you were already on where I was about to go. You was already there, and you was already doing something different. And I remember just looking like, rah, this guy, like, this is different. This is sick to me. This is sick to me. And at the same time, there's been so many transitions of what you've done, like almost exactly the same as me. So so that's why, I had that question in my head, because I was like, I wonder if he feels the way I feel. And it's like, you're saying exactly the same way. It's actually mad.
Often I see your swag online and I'm like, man, I swear like he's got like a secret spy on me. This guy's wearing my stuff, you know what I mean? So, we definitely have, common alignments in I suppose what we're trying to do for our listeners as well. You know what I mean? And that's why I've always resonated with your work, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Because from the very first, I remember like way before I had a record out, I remember you was like an urban legend already. Do you know what I'm saying? Like already, like you had already like 4 or 5 mixtapes out, and you was just known for just dreads and just tearing up a mic. Like you just come in a place and just shut down, bro. I remember being in Deal Real. Yeah, Deal Real.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I was performing there. I think I was just hanging out. And bro, you just came and just literally just shut it down. Like the place wasn't even rammed.
Yeah.
The place wasn't even rammed. But about 5 minutes after you took the mic, the whole team from front to back, outside, round the corner was just jam. And I just remember, and everyone knew your bars as well. And I remember being like, this guy again.
The good old days. The good old days.
Oh man, yeah, good old days.
So when did you? So let's take it back here. Where are you from? What ends are you from?
Yeah.
When did you start doing what you're doing? And how did it all come about? Because I know you got a very similar story to a lot of MCs I've spoken to.
Yeah. All right. So I grew up in Charlton, SC7. Yeah. And this is where I always say, ghetto is a mind state, and being impoverished is a situation. It's a circumstance.
Right.
It's not so much, doesn't so much depend on where you are geographically. Because a lot of the people that I grew up with, and a lot of people that were around me in my immediate area, definitely didn't struggle as much as I did at the time. But I suppose to bring it back a little even further, the very beginnings of my story. Like I started off in care, so my mum was unfortunately alcoholic, prostitute, drug addict. I was taken into care when I was, 4 or 5 years old. I was then thankfully taken by my grandmother. My grandmother took me and my sister, and she took us till we was about 11. And then mum got herself together, and she she had lost custody of us originally, but she got herself together and got through court and whatever. That's what the song Wild Heart is actually about. Do you know what I mean? So she got herself together, got us back, and we went home. Right. So I went home about 11 years old, and that's where I landed in the middle of Charlton. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm in this estate with white youths that play football. We just wear football tops all day long, football socks, shin pads. Man, I ain't even playing football today. Man, got shin pads on, trainers all day long. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And it was a blissful time, if I'm honest, bro. To be fair, do you know what I mean? We were poor. We had nothing. Mum was just trying to get herself together, keep herself together. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We had nothing. We was poor, but yeah, man, I had heart. I just remember just being like I know I want to be something. You know what I mean? I want to be something. All of my immediate family members was very much on the roadside, doing their bit. And I just remember wanting to be the only one that didn't sell drugs, or the only one that didn't, do certain things. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though I was heavily encouraged to do so, and it was easily accessible, I just found myself wanting to take other routes. So the first route I wanted to take was football. I wanted to be a footballer, probably any other black youth from South East London. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to be Ian Wright, no less. You know what I mean? Broke my knee. That was over. You know what I mean? And then I found drum and bass. I was a drum and bass MC when I first started, innit? Yep. Yeah, that's how I know Shotter, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
that's Kasha B. They don't know about Kasha B.
They don't know about Kasha B. You know what I mean? I was the youngest member of the New Breed crew. Shout to Fat Man, shout to X-Man, Herbsy, Foxy, Schultzton, all that. And I was a 17-year-old that was like, I just want to make music and be a musician. Yeah. In fact, the reason why I first ever knew I wanted to be a drum and bass MC was seeing Skibbity perform. You get me? I went to a rave, I don't know, I was probably about 15, man. You know what I mean? I went to this rave, and I remember all night, the whole stage was ram, yeah? Every man's across the stage drinking champagne, you know what I'm saying? The whole night, the whole stage is just, ram up. And then this whisper just started to let off in the crowd, bro. Skibbity, I swear to God, bro. Yeah, this little whisper. Brother, I kid you not, yeah. The fucking lights shut out, yeah. The stage emptied first. All the bouncers, you see all the bouncers emptying the stage, bro. Off the stage now, Skibbity, yeah, crazy. And then the thing just went black, bro. And then boom, spotlight. He's just in the middle of the stage. And the geezer just goes, Super Essa with the K. And everybody, left, right, front, back, immediate of me, just went, IBA. And he went, the double E. And they went, Skibbity. And I was like, I want to do that, bro. I want to do that. That's it, and that's it. That's it. I had the bug, bro. And yeah, drum and bass MC. I was drum and bass MC for a good 5-6 years, bro, till about 2004, I think. Till about 2003 or
See.
4. You know, I did that, traveled the world, did the whole Germany every week thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And then, but I was going through so many experiences in life. I found it difficult to express certain things um, over the hip hop, over the drum bass genre.
Mm.
And I remember being in certain raves and like talking certain deep lyrics, yeah. A man going, "Whoa!" and me going, "Nah, that's
That's
not
not
the
there.
I was
I've been there.
yeah, but this
I've been
bar
there, man.
just made me realize that I wanted to take time to express myself in different forms.
Mm.
And then yeah, like I must have got at 18, I must have got shot in the face, fam. And that really changed my life, you know what I'm saying?
See.
Really, really changed my life.
So
So
go back with that. So what was that? How
yeah,
did that come about, and
yeah.
what was the situation?
I mean, it's complicated. It's very, very
Oh yeah,
complicated.
yeah. No names and yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was supposed to go into it with only probably dig up old dirt for people that
Mm.
don't deserve that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But the effect that it had on me
Mm.
was immense, bro. It was immense. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a very close loss of life. You know what I'm saying to you? The bullet travelled in through my It was a 2.2 gun, so it was only a small gun.
You know them ones.
The bullet travelled in through my lip. It blew up an air bubble in the side of my cheek. Yeah.
Mm.
And the air bubble slowed it down enough so it never come out and had an exit.
See.
You get me? So to this day, I still carry the bullet in my face. To this
See.
day, here in my left cheek. You get me?
Mm.
And that's where at first I was called the bullet tooth kid. I used to call I used to call myself bullet tooth kid. You know what everyone's there. But that's you know what I mean. Like the doctor was like, "It's a miracle that you
Yeah.
ain't lost no teeth, that you ain't lost the side of your face, yada yada yada."
Mm.
So that really put me on a different path in terms of because I was into bits on the road, whatever. You know what I mean? Although it wasn't what I wanted to do, still it was what I was around. And yeah, that made me definitely steer away from certain things and just say, right, music is definitely what I want to concentrate on now. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's good though, yeah. Because I always feel like there's two ways that you go after experiencing something like that, getting stabbed, getting shot, and there's like that whole thing of feeling that violated feeling.
Yeah.
Like raw, man really did this to me, man really got me or whatever. And then you kind of go two ways after you kind of rationalize it and to be like, do you know what? I'm never gonna put myself in that situation again. Or you go the other way, you're like, right, it's on. And I've seen that go. I've seen it go both ways.
Either way. Thankfully, I went the route of like, I want to definitely see a different life for myself beyond this now. Do you know what I mean? I'm thankful to be here. And yeah, I want to see a different life for myself. But I was going through a lot with coming back from that. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Like, I turned into a recluse. I smoked so much weed, I nearly went blind. Like, this is real stuff. Like, I was malnutrition to a point, man, had the shakes, and I couldn't, you get what I'm saying to you? I couldn't move, couldn't function properly. Like, people were talking to me, and I just used to mumble, like, couldn't really express and talk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just couldn't catch eye contact. Like, it knocked the wind out of me, fam. You know what I'm saying? Knocked the whole personality out of me. So I had to take time and kind of rebuild as a human being, fam. And I mean, like,
okay, but you see, that's another thing as well, yeah. See, this is part of the issue of like a lot of stuff that we go through, yeah, and we deal with it matter of factly. We deal with it like, yeah, this happened, I dealt with it, then I moved on. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, dealing with trauma is supposed to be dealt with in a professional way. And a lot of the times, obviously, it's funny because we do similar things working with young people now and doing what we do, yeah. And I see this so much as well. It's like this attitude that we have, and I know where it comes from or whatever, yeah. But it's still something that we kind of have to kind of overcome into a point where we say things happen and we're like, right, you've been through this situation. Now you need to go talk to someone, man. Now you need to go sit down instead of dealing with it yourself, because what happens is, you got so much trauma locked up in you that you might get through it, but again it comes back to haunt you in the future.
100% agree. I went through my first round of therapy only last year, and it's completely changed my life.
Cool.
100%.
We're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that.
We'll come back to that. So, yeah, so like really, I had to rebuild myself as a human being, and I mean like down to every part of my character, you know, down to the way I moved and talked, and everything that you are talking to now is what I spent time building. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it was very much gone. I remember being in a drum and bass rave with my face half hanging out, and I'm on the mic and I'm spitting, and I'm like, fuck that, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm keeping this alive because this is what matters. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And yeah, it was a long, tough road, but like we went through a long, winding road. But finally, I kind of started to make transition from being a professional drum bass MC to being a professional hip hop artist. And that transition came, I'd say, properly around 2005 or 6.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, properly, and that's where, you know, we would have started seeing each other down in Bath Park and stuff like that. And my very first mission was to change. I wanted to change the world, bro. I wanted to fully change the world, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be Bob. I wanted to be John Lennon. I wanted to be someone who spoke something so important that it just had a ripple effect. Yeah. That changed the world. That's since my very first piece that I wrote. That was always my mission.
When I first started kind of hanging around you more was around, obviously that was the People's Army time, yeah. So I think one of the first times I even heard you was on a People's Army track.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of obviously listening to you more. But what I always noticed about your style at the time and what you were doing was like, it's very authentically you, and like there's always a lot of passion. There's always a lot of passion in what you do, and it's funny as well because, again, like I say, I'm a kind of person who's you know what I say all the time. I'm like, yeah, I used to be super arrogant, but at the same time, I still am. But at the same time, I love getting them knockbacks, and being around you was one of the first times. Yeah, like being around them, man, I feel like I could hold my own with these, man. You get me? Boom, boom, whatever. And I remember watching you perform and being like, oh, okay. Right, all right, seen. All right, cool. You know what I mean? And just those little checks, like, cool. You're good, but there's other people out here that are really hungry and really out here doing this.
And still there. And to be fair, you're one of the people that's always kept me on my toes in terms of like wanting to be so consistent and like wanting to make sure like I was just saying to you, like, even through this lockdown, you have remained a beast. You know what I mean? And it's like a superpower of yours. Your whole career, like I've never seen you take a loss, you know? And I find that incredible. I do. I find that absolutely incredible. And that for me has always been, you know, a competitive mark that I take from you, 100%.
But I was having a conversation yesterday and with somebody, and I was saying they were talking about how in this time, when things are getting on top of them and they're dealing with like a lot of serious issues and all they want to do is just work to block it out. And I said, that's why I never stop working, man. Like, and to me, it's not always the healthiest way to be, but to me, the work is the constant. Yeah. So friends, family, ups and downs, life goes up and down, money comes and goes, but the work is what you're in control of. And me being a control freak, that's the bit I'm always like, I can control that part of it. So
no, I need to take a leave.
Yeah, but I don't like. To me, I said it like I don't get mad, I get productive. That is how I deal with everything. And at the same time, it's funny because people always say, "Oh, bro, workaholic, man, your work rate is mad." And I keep telling people, no, this isn't. It's not. It's like it's not work. It's really not work. It's a coping mechanism. And it's me going into the place, into what I know. And I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding when you see something that you're like, this is a strength, yeah? You see something as a strength and it's like, yeah, it might be a strength, it might be a talent, but in the big scheme of things, it might not be the best way to deal with certain issues. And again, we're gonna get into you going to therapy, me going to therapy as well. It's the same thing when you're talking about therapy saying to you, yo, when was the last time you asked for help? And me going, what? Like, I don't even get the question. I don't even get what you're saying, because what situation would I ever be in where I would ask for help, and seeing that as like that means I'm doing well, and it's like, nah, not necessarily, man. There's other things in here. So we're at the moment in your career, in our timeline, where you're getting more into the rap, into the hip hop thing, becoming a name in the scene. Where do we buck Ed Sheeran? Where does this happen? Where does that happen?
I think I was super busy doing shows. I really did kind of pride myself, because I was coming out of drum and bass. I had a real big thirst for like making sure I was doing a show every week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the management and everyone I was working with at the time, that was like always top of the board in the meetings, like shows, like who's ciphering shows, who's sending the email, who's picking up the who's sending the rider where, like what show is going on. So that was always top of my agenda. So I was always performing, safe to say, constantly performing, because that's how we really got out back then, really. We didn't have all of this. You know, we had, what's up? My name's Kasha. Let me spit a bar. Take a CD. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, that was what we had. So I remember seeing Ed at, I can't remember, I think it was somewhere in East London. I think it was a place called The Hub. Okay. And I think it was run by Natty or someone like that.
Oh, seen, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Natty. Anyway, so we're in there, and I'm by the bar, I'm chilling. And I remember like hearing his name and seeing his name on bare of the same flyers that, you know, same circuits and stuff, and the same things that.
Because this was the year when he did the 100 shows, or way more, that he was doing every show. That was like around that time.
That year. So he's out and I'm out. So, you know, he comes up to me and says, he goes, yeah, you're Kasha. And I'm like, yeah, you're Ed, innit? He goes, bro, how you getting all these shows? And I go, how you getting all these shows? Like, that was that. You know what I mean? We was just like, we was both like, you're around, bro. How you getting all these, you know, these gigs? So I remember sitting down, watching him perform, and he did, you know, the usual loop pedal, build the beat on the spot. No one ever seen nothing like it, bro.
Crazy.
Do you get what I'm saying? And he always used to drop that bit at the end. Like, he would do angels, and then he would always go into another little skit where he would drop that, you can find me in the club, battle for the blood, and my God, always drop that, and everyone would be like, oh, because it was an urban
smashed.
You know what I'm saying?
When he used to do that, my eyes are red, I've been burning. It was crazy.
Notice it.
You had to be there. You had to be there, because it's funny, because around that time, I think I did a show with him as well. So we did the Cordless show. So that was my uncle used to run that, innit? So my uncle and cousin that was their thing, innit? So they were like, we got Ed Sheeran coming down. Will you come and perform? I was like, yeah, cool. And they're like, I think Gracious K was there as well. So Gracious K came down. I think Gracious K, my G, did like one song, got like $5,000 for that year. Man just came. He smashed it. I came, did my thing, and then Ed went on again. This was around the time when he was bubbling, but not like, no one really knew him like how, you know, what he was about to be. And he came in, loop pedal, smashed the whole show down. Him and the guitar, it was crazy.
Yeah, but that's why he is where he is, because it was shock and awe every time. Everywhere. You know what I mean? All the time. And
100%.
That's why, you know, it is what it is, because, and I remember him coming off, you know, I did my thing, he did his thing. We're both outside, and we're just, you know, we're smoking cigarettes, just chatting shit to each other. And we're just like, yo, man, you know that I'm trying to be like, you, my guy. And he's like, I'm trying to be like, you, my guy. We're just having that conversation. So we just kept kind of seeing each other. And, you know, it got to the point where I was doing sets and he would just jump on my set. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And we'd just quickly freestyle together and stuff like that. So it was getting stupid, and it was like, we have to get in the studio, bro. Like, it has to happen. You know, and so it did, man, and he's ridiculous. Like, he's just ridiculous. But I got to the studio an hour late. because I'm, you know me, just
Superstar.
I'm young. I don't even know. I'm young, black, organized. I could never get my shit together, ever. Anyway, so I got there an hour late. He had already recorded Suits, written and recorded Suits by the time I got there.
Damn.
And he was moving on to a second piece. No one knows this, but I've got a second piece with Ed that I've never, ever released. And I probably won't, but it just sits in the back there somewhere. But, you know, he had already moved on to that second piece. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And like, you know, he was fiddling around with that. And like, literally, I was left that day with more or less 2 full, complete pieces, you know, by the time he was done. So by the time I got there, we was just chatting. Like, he was just fiddling, like tinkering up with the last bits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just had one large conversation. I remember him telling me that he's about to release an EP with all urban artists, and he's got this plan for global, you know, global success and takeover, brother. Look at it now. You know
it's crazy, man. I always thought as well, like the timing of your track, because what a lot of people don't understand here is you can have the track with the biggest artists in the world, but you also need like the machine that artist has to push you as well.
Yeah.
And I felt like at the time, obviously, because you're working with, I've been in situations as well where you have a track with a big artist, but the management are like, nah, they're doing their thing now, so your thing's got to just hold back. And it's I felt like you kind of got like, you got the song, you had the video, everything was there, but because the push wasn't there, it didn't get to like the potential it could have been.
It could have gone. Yeah, I mean, I'm always pretty straight up with the story, because when you tell the story, Ed's involvement in that, you know, he still stays a pretty solid dude. So the story goes that we had these 2 songs, and then he got signed. You know what I'm saying to you? And me and my manager, we were kind of one of the first people to know he had signed on the dotted line, because at the time we was kind of in that little space as well. We were being looked at by, you know, a few of the same probably A&Rs and stuff like that. So we knew he got the deal, and we made the call, and you know, he was like, "Oh my God, how the hell do you know?" I was like, come on, man, come on. He was like, "Listen, please don't tell no one, but I promise you those songs are safe." Yeah, promise you those songs are safe. So he wrote a declaration to his label to say that these 2 songs were recorded prior to him signing, and if they could do him the good will, I suppose, of allowing the songs to be released free of encompassment, you know what I'm saying? Then that would be great. And it was just a sincere favor on his behalf, you know what I mean, on his part. Because if you notice, around that time, everything else that was on the internet around that time of him, previous to him getting signed, just got squashed.
Yep.
It just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? It never existed. So
that's the way it goes. Yeah.
Where it goes. So what the stipulation was, it was quite simple. I wasn't allowed to sell the record.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to put it on, you know, iTunes or whatever it was at the time, or sell physical copies.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually allowed to use his name for the promotion of said record either. Which obviously made it a little bit difficult, because radio then wouldn't really touch it, because it didn't quite have the seal of approval that, you know, it should have had from his label. Ed was behind it, you know, he tweeted it. Everywhere else, you know what I mean? But so radio really wouldn't get behind it. Not really a lot of magazines would cover it and stuff like that. And but the fact remains is we did 25,000 free downloads, even though it was free downloads, right? If we would have sold it, it was 25,000 free downloads in 3 days. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You get me?
Because it was a big track.
You know what I'm saying? If we'd have sold it, it would have gone to number 5 in the chart that week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is always like, see, you know. But
this is
he remained solid in that story, because he always wanted it to go where it needed to go. You know what I mean? But when labels are putting things together and marketing things, as you know, you know, they're not. If it's not in their plan, then it you know, it kind of gets made sure it gets put to the side. But at least it was given some light. You know, there's a music video. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying to you? So I can't never be sad or upset.
That's the thing. I think a lot of people don't understand is having the label sign off is massive, and not only that the label, you know for a fact they didn't want to sign off on it, but the fact he went to bat for it and was like, nah, sign off, this is going, so it goes. Because I've been in those situations where if the label don't sign off, it ain't going nowhere. Like no one's hearing it ever. So it's I think as well, like there's a lot of with him as an artist and as a person, you kind of obviously you know a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well. Yeah, the kind of things that he does. I think again it always speaks to the character, and you just see him from where he came from and what he's still been doing, and it's a good thing to see, man. That
to this day, whenever you know, a conversation might arise, I always say, look, he would be happy to stay in this room with all of us right now, have a beer and a good old chit, you know, good old chinwag, because that's just who he is. Like that man don't have an ego. Do you know what I mean? And he never has had an ego, even when he was on a meteoric rise.
Yeah,
you know, we still bumped heads a few times, and he still reached out a few times and was like, you know, it's love, and that's rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's rare, and you know what I mean? And I will always say he's the realest, one of the realest and most talented guys that one has had the most, you know, the good fortune of working with.
And I don't think people even get, like, it's so hard when the pressure's on you to just be able to reach out to people and just to live a normal life. And I feel like when you see people doing those kind of things, it's an extra effort to do that, because it's not something they can easily do. Going from, so around that time, this was very close to, you were, again, from the outside, it seemed like you was about to get that break and get to that level that you needed to be at, that you were trying to go for. And then you kind of pulled back a little bit. So what happened around that time?
All right, cool. Again, I suppose without talking like complete and utter rubbish or dragging up old stuff.
Baiting man up,
dragging up old stuff for people. I was being looked at by a decent amount of labels at the time. One of the things I think is quite elusive in the process of working with a label that might sign you is they very much push this notion that they need from you a song.
Yeah.
You know, we need that song, Kasha. I need that song that I can just take into the office and go, this is the one. I just need that song. So we was in the studios, like I'm talking a good 3 or 4 different labels at the time, around the same, they were all coming around the same time as well. So right about the same time, you know, we're in these studios and we're doing session after session after session, and I'm making these songs, and not any one of these songs is the song. And you know, we spent a good 6 months trying to get them the song, you know. All the time that while I was in the studio with them trying to get them the song, my presence or my buzz
is dying.
Was because I'm inactive. I'm locked up with you lot trying to make the song. You know, I'm inactive jumping through hoops. And it's like, I felt like it was a bargaining position. I felt like it was a leverage position, because I felt like once they got to the part where, all right, let's talk a deal now, my buzz would have been so low, but they were going to be like, yeah, but you ain't going to be looking for those numbers. You're looking for like, you know what I'm saying to you? So we started getting agitated. I started getting agitated. I felt like I could see the plan, and I felt like I was getting just agitated anyway. So we're going into these meetings, and it's fair to say that labels and myself really didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. Yeah. You know, I felt like they wanted one thing, and it was never going to be that. You know what I'm saying? I was always open musically to certain things. You can see that through my work. But I was definitely not going to just be, you know, a whiteboard for the marking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be a whiteboard for the market. Like, I came with rich color. I came with a rich tapestry. Do you know what I'm saying? I came with, you know what I'm saying, dimensions that you can't just, yeah. So, upon not being able to agree, I suppose, and the deal's not really coming through, and just not basically getting signed at that time, I went on a rampage. Like I had like a vendetta against the industry. I was like, well, okay then. I'm gonna just do it my way. I'm gonna just do it all on my own. I'm gonna just do it my way. So we went out and we got an investor. I got a decent amount of money invested into that, thing. And that's where you got the Ed Sheeran tune got released. I did another rap tune, rare, money, big budget videos now. And I ain't got no label. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just us. You know what I'm saying? We got an investment. We got the studio. We got an in-house video team. We are killing it now. Yeah. We got mixed master at the fingertips. We got access to bigger studios as well because of all the A&R stuff we've been doing. We were just good. We were just set. Like, okay, I'ma just be here throwing big tunes at the game. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? And it was, we was just getting to the juncture where we were gonna sit down with the radio pluggers and make sure it was on the A-list. At every station, yada, yada, yada. And then, the investor pulled out, fam.
Scene. Damn.
Yeah. Got mad cold feet and just pulled out, bro. Mad cold feet. So the money dried up. And my little vendetta kind of came to a close. Like, my little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of came to a close, and I was just like sitting around thinking, what's the next move? Because you know me, I was about power moves at the time. You know what I mean? I was like,
man. Because I feel like you had it. You kind of had the thing pattern, and you were doing your thing. And I feel like as well, in this game, perception is very important.
Yeah.
And I felt like you were always in the right position. You were always making the right moves. And in my mind, the way I saw it was like, all right, the way Tiny Temper did his thing. Like, you're coming up kind of, like, to me, I was like, that's the way I thought the music was going. And I just thought it was like a kind of like a harder version, like a more authentically rap version of what he was doing.
To be fair, that's not completely wrong. I was mixing with the same people that was managing him at the time. Do you get what I'm saying? I remember being at Wireless and being like, talking to an interviewer and being like, I'm trying to do what Tiny's done. You know what I mean? So you're not completely and utterly wrong. Not in any way, shape or form musically.
Nah.
Do you get what I'm saying? To you copying or whatever, but just the move that he was making and the way he cut through, I was like,
because this is the thing people need to remember as well. There was a gap. So this is before this is way before Stormzy. This is way before even Gigs is where Gigs is. This is way before Skepta is where Skepta is. So this is before like the shift. It's funny now because people, they look at the game and they go, there are so many big urban / rap / pop artists. We can name a bunch of them. We can name some of them that ain't even that big but are massive, right? But that wasn't the place when you were coming up here, and when you were in your spot, it was like there wasn't that many others to really bounce off. So that lane was like, this is it.
Yeah, and it's funny because the music I was making at the time, like, let's put it this way, a lot of the stuff that you're getting or have been getting for the last 5 years, bro, like, man done made that. Do you get what I mean? I remember giving Mr. Let me not even shout man's name, but I remember giving certain DJs the CD, fam.
Yeah.
And man's like, nah, you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? And he's like, it sounds too much like Young Money and Drake and them.
Yep.
And I'm like, but that's where this is going though, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna be the first one over here to stamp that. Yeah, and let them know that, like, I'm always, because my number one thing was this. I wanted to show the whole of America that we had real competitors on these shores. Like, real life competitors, not no, like, puppets on the string type guys. Like, I got bars, bro. And I'm musically intelligent, bro. And I'm gonna do numbers, bro. Like, that was my whole thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. Drizzy, Drake, what's it? Lil Wayne, I could do that. let me just spin out a couple bits that sound a bit like that, and I did it. You know what I'm like? I can nail a sound, so I just nailed it. Gave it to certain DJs. They're like, nah, you can't do that, bro. That's what everyone's been doing for the last fucking 7 years.
But again, we've had this conversation already before. Like, we've had this conversation many times before about being too early on a lot of things and being too ahead of the game. And it's funny as well because, like I said, the first time I saw you perform, I was like, that don't sound like nothing we just done. That don't sound like nothing else who's here. It's a different sound, and it's like it's an accomplished sound. And I think that might have been the time. I think you gave me the CD that day, and I went back and was just listening. I was just like, rah, yeah, nah, like, and it only now I'm really kind of clocking like, yeah, you were one of the first people to kind of influence me to go, yeah, like let me make music like the music I'm listening to.
Yes.
Like instead of going, this is the lane, this is what they want. It's like no. Make what you want.
What you want and what you want to listen to. Like I remember being in the studio. I used to call the studio like church, yeah. So studio was like my church on Sunday. That's where I go, that's where I pray, that's where I release. You know what I mean? That's where I get repent my sins. So I used to be in the studio every Sunday, fam. And just like prayer and just like hymn, like it's a different prayer, it's a different hymn every week. Do you know what I mean? So it's never the same. We're never singing from the same hymn sheet. You get what I'm saying to you? We're always trying something new. We're always letting you know what I mean, the love of the Lord in through different means and different sounds and rhythms and whatever it is. You get what I'm saying to you? That's what studio was for me. So I was saying to someone the other day, I've got a back catalogue over 178 songs that will never be released and have never been released. And never hear them. You'll never hear them. No one will ever hear them.
That's
ever.
Crazy.
I was just stacking songs at that time. Just stacking them up, like just letting everything that I was as a human being marry itself with music. Yeah. Saying to you in every form.
But I feel like see, there's another artist, I'm wearing his hat actually. Big up Jinka. And I feel like you two kind of have a very similar vibe when we have conversations, because I feel this idea of, because you're a perfectionist first of all, and you always put a lot of weight into what you put out. So, and I'm kind of the opposite in a way. I'm a perfectionist up until a point, but I'm very much like, nah, it's ready. When we in the studio, me and my boy Terry, we have this. Our saying is, that'll do. Like, I'm not doing the take 1,000 times in it. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, alright, that will do. Like yesterday, I did 2 verses for Pyro. I'm just like, let me just get these done. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like there's a balance here. I feel like I might be a bit too far one way, but I feel like you're too far the other way, where you got the goods, and I feel like you overthink the process.
I don't let it out. Do you know what though? I suppose coming back to the timeline there, where I was just saying like the Vesta pulled out and all this other stuff. Like right there where you hit that juncture there, that was 2012. Right. And that's where my break came in, because I was just tired, Jen. I was just like, I've been out here performing since I was 17. Yep. Like I was 27. That was probably me just hitting my 10-year mark, you know what I mean? Yeah. My 10,000 hours or whatever it was, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I'm gonna just have to take a break for a sec, because it doesn't feel healthy anymore. It doesn't feel like fun anymore. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel good anymore, bro. Do you know what I mean? I remember crying, I remember sitting in my living room, bro, and crying like it was over, like the dream's over, like, it's not finished, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel like that about things. You shouldn't feel like things are penultimate. You shouldn't feel like things are the end. Until one breath has, till you've drawn your last breath, there is always chance and hope. And if something can be so destroying, you have to learn to find balance with that.
But okay, so so to me, where I find that balance, is because sometimes we think, because we put our heart and soul into the music, that whatever comes from it has to be giving back heart and soul to us. but that's just not the way it goes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the to me, the music is, you do the music, you put it out, whatever happens happens. So sometimes you put out a track and you get the 100,000 streams. Sometimes you put out a track and 4 years later it still ain't done 1,000 streams. That just is what it is. That's the game. And I feel like the part where we link those two things together. So we think, oh, because I made this track and this track's hard, it should get that. We have this level of entitlement where we're like, nah, this is hard. Like I know for a fact that I'm making certain songs that are, name any J. Cole. I'm making certain songs that are better than songs that J. Cole makes. Doesn't matter. It don't matter. Like the game, it ain't set up that way. And I feel like when we have it in our minds, we're like, nah, I should be doing this. That's where it comes back, because we're expecting something.
Yeah. And I think at that point in my career, I was expectant. I think I was entitled. I was a lot of things that I shouldn't have been as a human being. And this is where I think where the part where I think you bring in spirituality and all of the existential influences that are out of your control. What I mean by that is, like I said in the very beginning, I came from a very broken household, and my music was a reflection of being broken. My music was a reflection of a frustrated young man who wanted nothing more but to build a life that was, better for himself. However, that young man believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that fame and fortune was the doorway to fixing those problems. And that young man was very wrong. And you only need to look at the examples in front of us in celebrity culture to know that I am right in saying what I'm saying there. I had all of the tools. I had all of the character traits of a person that would have taken all the tools to destroy myself and use them wisely. I had all the character traits, bro. Of someone who would have probably had a fantastic career, probably been very famous, probably been very, very rich, but the damage to my person and my soul that would have taken place, I think would have been truly detrimental. And I don't think I would be talking to you now. I don't think I'd be in a good place now, 2020. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think I'd be okay. So as much as sometimes you really want something and you feel like something is for you, it don't come until it's ready, until it's the right time. You get me? And if I would have had fame and fortune then, I believe it would have destroyed me. Fame and fortune now would just literally be a piss in the ocean, in the sense that I would flippantly cast it off as something that was just a byproduct to what I love to do. That is it. It's that simple. I love to make music. Should 1 million people now love to partake and listen to that music, I will only see that as a very great blessing, and I would be grateful for such. The money would only come home to the home that I already live in, mortgage, and the family that I already, quite happily provide for. So we wouldn't find me buying diamond chains and driving around in Ferraris and popping champagne. I would be making investments and putting money into safe places. So the human being with the riches would be very different, receiving those riches. And fame would be, I think, something I would use for the greater good of the rest of humanity. If I had a platform, I would definitely change others' lives for the good, just through the things I say.
I think, I definitely, I feel that as well. And I always feel like there were, when I had more notoriety than I have now, I didn't use it in the best way. I was immature, man. And again, it's funny because our paths the way our paths kind of cross, where our lives kind of intersect, and we come from different places but end up in the same place. And it's just like you're doing the wrong things, and luckily you don't have enough power to really do damage at the time when you're doing them. And I say this to my young people all the time, man. Like, there are so many lessons that you're gonna learn from this life, and it's a blessing if you're alive at the end of them to actually receive the lesson. Because there's a lot of you who ain't even gonna get to see that lesson to go, yo, that was wrong. There's way, you know what I mean, an inch or two to the left and you're not even alive. You get me? Like, things change. So how do you feel therapy has helped you, or what led you even to take that path?
The understanding that I had led a life of great trauma, and that will lead to sickness. I in my work, as you said, working with young people and stuff like that, which I've been doing for many years, teaching music and all sorts of other different things. I do now like to educate myself and qualify myself as well, because I feel it adds value to just what you can offer. So I did the mental health supervision course.
Okay.
Yeah, mental health first aid course.
Yep, done that.
And taking that course just shocked me, because in learning about the illnesses that we would be supervising or giving first aid to, I learned that I probably had a large number of them.
Yeah.
You know, and even in taking the qualification, I kind of got a bit, you know what I mean? There was a moment when I got a bit taken aback, because I was just like, I've been reading and learning about stuff that I've been living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And dealing with, and with no help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? And just brushing it off like, the man them are tough, innit? You know what I mean? The man them are strong. You know what I mean? Buy their weed and drink their juice. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And so taking that course just made me realize that I probably had a few illnesses that I wasn't aware of. And I mean, I'd already been diagnosed as a manic depressant, and then manic depressive back in years and years ago. I didn't know that they turned manic depression into bipolar.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
semantics.
Already I'm sitting there and, I'm bipolar. I didn't know that. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd already been diagnosed as a manic depressive years ago, which they turned into bipolar. So things like that kind of just shocked me, and then understanding that, you know, the illness itself has a you know, like a traveling wave, and you get a real big dip, and then you get a real big base, you know what I mean? And then you never hit the baseline and stuff like that. So anyway, it just made me realize that I probably had been dealing with things that I was unaware of, and probably dealing with them in ways that wasn't healthy. So I did. I went for my first bout of therapy. I went for I think it was 6 bouts. They do like little bouts, don't they?
Yeah.
I went for 6 bouts, and at first I was skeptical. I was just like, whatever. You know, I've come because I feel like you need to tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel like I need perspective on why I am the way I am. Why I react to the world in this way. You know? And we did, man. We went down and we just broke it all down, as you know, therapists do. You get what I'm saying to you? And went through all the emotions that therapy brings out, cried and laughed and, you know, reflected and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of it, I really did come away with true healing. I did. Yeah. And I always remember what she left me with. She said to me that your mind has been like a room full of scattered papers. And all your thoughts are just scattered all over the floor, and they're just everywhere. Now we've taken all those papers and we've organized them neatly into piles and put them away into nice little filing cabinets and filed them away. And now your mind is tidy. And that's all I imagine. Now when I get a little moment, when I'm having a moment, I just imagine the filing cabinets, and I say, you know, we're tidy in there now. And I kid you not to anyone watching this, I kid you not, like, it has changed my life completely. I have been healed, like, not because of just the therapy, because I was ready to be healed, because I was ready to understand that I was hurting, and I was ready to understand that I'd lived a long life of hurting, and I needed perspective. I needed to put some hindsight to the timeline. You know,
Yeah.
where this happened and where that happened and how that may have caused this, and you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
do need to gain perspective, and coming out of it and finding true healing has been, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been the most freeing experience I've ever known. And now I live a life that I can say I'm truly happy.
It's a blessing to hear, man. It's a blessing to see as well.
I'm sitting on my sofa with my legs crossed and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's different, and it's like the life I dreamed of when I thought I needed to be rich and famous
yeah.
is the life I have now,
Yeah.
without any of that. And for me, that is what I think life was trying to, or clearly trying to guide me towards, rather than this notion of being some global superstar. Because I think that, although it seems great to anyone watching this who is, you know, trying to get into music, although that does seem like what you want, you need to ask yourself, is it trying to, do you want it to fill a hole that exists within yourself? Because if you do, then it's not what you want.
It's nuts. My auntie said that to me like maybe 15 years ago when I was first like really kind of getting out there and getting a name out there. I remember she goes to me, make sure you're doing this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, yeah, man, I'm doing it for the right reasons, whatever. But it's only like years down the line, you get to the point where you're like, nah, really, what are you doing it for? And it's funny. It's like it's that idea of you want to be successful, yeah, but you're not gonna be successful until you feel successful. So you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna be happy in the Rolls because you're not happy in the Ford Focus. So and it's like getting that has only really happened for me, I'd say, in the last maybe like 5 years of being in a place where you're just like, oh, do you know what? I'm truly grateful for what I have, and all the other stuff is just extra. It's like, all right, cool, whatever, man. It's nice, like,
you know. And it's like I said, as much as I think back then I would have loved to have had a successful career, regardless of what we're talking about. I think in hindsight, looking at what the two possibilities could have been, I truly do believe that this is the healthier outcome for me. You know? And this is success. You know, whether someone out there believes it or not, I'd love to ask them what their notion of success is, because for me, success is to be happy in yourself and to have a life that you are comfortable with, and not to go without in any way, shape, or form. You know, to do the things you love and to follow your passions and to be loved and have those around you that you love. That is success. You know, you know what I'm saying? So I don't need to have 7 bedrooms here or a Ferrari outside to be myself as someone who has made it, because from where I come from, not a lot of people have even got to this, you know, point.
Yeah.
Even if they have, they still have that hole inside them, and that's always gonna be there, you know.
For real. So let's talk about the warning.
Yeah.
So so you went a little bit quiet, then started dropping things, and then but so I mean, I give myself a little shout out. I'm on that project as well. But we did that. Wait, when did we do that? We did it like 2018.
Yeah, time ago. I tell you what, my computer's trying to mess me around and trying to get me to plug it in. Let me get this.
Alright, cool. We can do that, man.
You know, I charged it, yeah, but I charged it to like 40%. I thought, yeah, that'll be fine. 40%.
It's cool, man. We'll make it work. It's cool.
Is it going into like silhouette? Are we all right?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can work. We work with that.
All right, we can work with that. Yeah. This is a little officey bit, guys.
Nice. So we did that, and I was waiting for it to drop, and then you finally dropped it.
Yeah.
This beginning of this year.
Yeah.
The project's cold, man. And it's funny because like obviously like when you drop things, I listen to them straight away. Then I went back and listened to it yesterday over again, and I was just like, oh damn, like yeah, you kind of I don't know, man. You had things to say in it.
Yeah, I've been away for ages, man.
Yeah.
It's an 8-year break. Do you get what I'm saying? And to be completely honest with you, the reason why the break was so long was because everything kind of dissipated for me. My team very much broke up. You know, I had discrepancies with a lot of, you know, people in the mix and stuff like that. And yeah, I didn't have access to studio.
See.
You know, I didn't have no beats.
See.
I definitely didn't have no money to promote nothing and put nothing out. And also I had a large lack of understanding because, like many artists of the time, I put myself in that position where I didn't want to know anything about the business.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make the music. So when it came to pressing record on Logic, I was lost.
Yeah.
When it came to sending emails to contact people to do stuff, I was lost. When it came to uploading my music to iTunes, I was lost. You know what I'm saying? So I spent a long time just being like, well, how the hell do I get this done?
Yeah.
How do I get that done? Oh my God, and how do I get this done? And I need to buy a new PC because this is having a madness. And do you get what I'm saying to you? It was like, I spent years because I was very much an artist that was like, I was self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know, I had a full team,
Yeah.
you know, manager, you know, engineer, studio / music. Do you know what I mean? He had all of that. John, you remember John? Do you know what I mean? You know, a plethora of producers, and you know, a little bit of money here and there because we made a little investment. We was just set up right. Do you know what I'm saying? And things were getting done because, quite simply, we had a meeting every single Wednesday, and in that meeting we would plan, plot, strategize. You know what I mean? And make sure that we hit targets, and it was a business, bro. Do you get what I mean? It was we ran it like a business, bro. So having all of that just fall away just left me like, what do I even do? Like, where do I even start? Because I was just an artist, bro, as far as I was concerned. So I remember phoning up certain people, like certain links and certain contacts and that, and just being like, yo, can you help me, fam? You know what I mean? Can you help me? They were just like, you know how the game go. You know how the game go. You know? And I just remember just like kind of just sitting in my flat and just being like, I think it's over, you know? You know what I mean? And that's very powerful as well to anyone watching who is again coming up. You know, when I thought it was over, that's when everything really stopped.
Yeah.
Everything really stopped. When I was like, I think it's done. I think I'm just gonna go and get a 9-to-5 job and just go and do this and that. Do you get what I mean? And when my mind went into that place, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened. It was over, and I went and got a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for me to get my heart and my mind to meet each other again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that feeling.
This is how long it's taken me for it, bro. You know? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've been out and I've been living life, you know, like living life, and I've had success in the life I've been living. You know what I'm saying? But music's always been calling.
But I feel like, see, that's a problem, with a lot of, especially UK acts, because of like if you're talking about UK rap money, it's non-existent. So even if you're successful in UK hip hop, for the most of us, the money ain't all that. So you can fall back here and make real money and be good. And then it's hard to say. Then people are like, yo, come back, and it's hard to be like, for what? And I see that with a lot of guys that were rapping. Yeah. And people saw them on Channel U, they saw them getting their deal and was like, oh, they're killing it. Then they fell back, made some real money, and the people are like, oh, you disappeared, man. Where are you?
Yeah,
and it's like, it's hard for you to go, do you know what? All right, cool. Let me take a pay cut to come and do this rap thing. Like,
I hear you, man. I hear you. And like, I had certain goals, and I think that's important in life. Whatever you're doing, you gotta have your goals. Do you know what I mean? And to get to the goal, the music didn't fit into that. In the sense that it was like, unless you're financially adding, because unless you're making money at a certain level in music, you're spending money to make music. You know what I'm saying? You are like, you know, the music videos, again, for those watching that are coming up, the music videos and stuff, that's cheap. It's not cheap. You know, you gotta have money for mix and master. You gotta have money for marketing and promotion, and that's money that you may not see back.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that's a gamble, unfortunately, that at the time I couldn't afford to continue to keep taking.
Yeah.
You get me? I had just bought my first daughter was on the way. I just bought my first flat, and I was like, I got shit to do. Like, I got shit to do. I ain't even got a studio. Fuck it. Look, I got this to do.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to get the mindset. I've been doing this since I was 17. I didn't know nothing else.
Yeah.
So I was like, actually, maybe I might be good at some other stuff. Let me go and try some other things. I might be good at it. You get me? And I enjoyed this other stuff. And I'm thinking, I am actually good at this. I'm getting to these places, though, and people are going to me, but you're wasted here.
Yeah.
But why are you doing that music? Why are you doing the music? And I'm like, listen, it's a long story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a long story.
It's sad though, but I think,
It got tedious, and I thought I got to a point where I was like, well, actually, why am I not doing it? What are you doing? And then man started, as you said, making money. You know, as we're seeing now, you know, hip hop's making money now, and I'm sitting at home thinking, hold on a minute. What am I really saying that I'm done? Nah, maybe I might not be done. Not like it was conceited like that, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the platforms are bigger, so it's like, why would you not compete?
Why would I not be wanting to come back and compete? You know what I'm saying? At a time like this, when it's changed so much and things are so affluent. You know what I'm saying to you? And everyone's really enjoying themselves. Yeah. Like, struggle that we face doesn't seem to be there anymore. Do you know what I mean? Where like no one's listening and no one don't want to pay. Yeah. Like, that struggle's been removed. It's like everyone's listening and they all want to pay for it. All right, cool. Lovely. Well, look, guess what, guys? I can rap too, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of energy that you get on the warning, where it's like, look, as much as I love you lot for coming in and making a hip hop economy, you get me? You gotta know that this thing was built on bars. Yeah. Like, and if you ain't got that, then you need to come and see me.
Do you think like, so to me, in my reading into it, the warning really was just a warning, like, you're coming into this, and I feel like
I'm coming back.
Yeah, and you're in a place now where you've got that balance. We spoke about earlier. You got the balance now, so it's like before the music, and same with me, the music always took away from real life, whereas now it don't affect it at all. Like the real life goes on, the music is just added. It's just added on the side, and it's just like, I feel like a lot of us are in really good positions where who was I speaking? Tommy Evans, when he was saying, like, at the time the music was everything, and because music's everything, you're putting everything into it as far as like financially and time into it, so you really need to get something back from it. Whereas now it's like, nah, listen, mortgage is paid for, bro. Like, the rap is just a rap, innit? So I can really come out in it and really do my thing.
And it's there's a freedom to it, because you're like, this is not what I am. I'm not so hungry out here that I need this. Like, it's do or die with this, because that's a problem. That's a problem for young black men out here. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's do or die in this. That's why you got so many dummies looking the way they be looking so dumb on the TV right now, because they're so hungry, young, poor, and desperate for anything. Yeah, that's where they get you. So
I think that energy, hold on, let me pause you there, because I think that energy is good for a time, but there's difference between hungry and being desperate. And like, when you're young, so like you said, from the age 17 to like, I don't know, 25 or whatever, that's when you can be hungry, yeah.
Hungry,
And then
yeah.
then it gets to the point where and the way you act, the way your actions as well. Like I remember saying, I can't remember who it was saying. I was like, there was never a time, yeah, when you didn't. If you saw me out on road, yeah, at age 18, 19, 20, I had 100 bars ready to go anytime.
Yeah,
100 bars. Like what? Who's spitting? Some man will be on the train, yeah, that's rapping to himself with his headphones on. I come up, bro. We listening to? Well, you rap, yeah? Come, you know what I mean? Like we was on it like that. And so to me, that energy is like you need it at that point. But then there comes a point where you don't need to be seeing the 30-year-old like, yo, I want to spit some bars to you. Like, nah, just like the energy's different. Just chill. Just chill.
Different now, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I had to get used to the fact that, yeah, you know, you're absolutely right that there's got to be an energy shift here. It's got to be mature. It's got to be this and that and everything. Because as much as you lot have built a rap economy off of what you're doing, I'm still over here with what I do, and I can't just be Mr. Mix and Mingle and just come and fit into the crowd and stuff because, you know what I mean? We've been doing that, and that's what the warning was. The warning was, look, I've got a plan for you lot, all right, but I need to be clear on some things, yeah? I need to be clear that I'm a hip-hopian, yeah? I come from the dark underground. I come from the dungeons, like, know that I can rap, like, real bars, real beats, tear off your head, like, I know my stuff, okay? But you're going to get some things in a minute where you might have thought you could question that because there's some singing going on and there's some, you know, themes, you know, that are related to ladies and, you know, these things are there. So you're thinking, oh, but my man's not hard. He ain't got about shut up, go back to when I released early on in the year, dickhead, right? So, because we're going to go through a journey now. You get me? And what we're going to do is we're going to end up 360 full circle back where we started, Rubai. But I'm going to show you all the colors of the rainbow in between. Yeah. But at each point when you're questioning the color, you need to go back and check it. Oh, yeah, it's a rainbow.
Yeah.
Why are you showing me green? Oh, yeah, it's a rainbow. Why are you showing me purple? Oh, yeah, it's a rainbow. Right. You get me? And that's what it was. It was just like I needed to be the landmark. The furthest point. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's a lot of people, because people talk all the time and they say about versatility and what being versatile means. And I feel like it's not even just, it don't stop at the music, man. I feel like it's personality and it's life experience and education. And that's something that, again, you've always, like, again, people can witness in this conversation, the conversations we've had. You're an educated person. Like, you're someone who looks into things. You're someone who wants to know the answers and who goes deeper into it. And I feel like that's where the versatility comes from. I don't think it's like they say, the wise man can play the part of the fool can't play the part of the wise man. That's in the music. And like, it goes way back. And I feel I want people to understand that, because I get a lot of credit that ain't for me, you know. Like, I get a lot of credit of people saying, "Oh, yeah, you were the first one to come with the skinny jeans with the rips with the whole." Nah, bro, I saw Kasha doing that from before. You get me? Like, man had the flat cap and just doing like just different styles, yeah. And the difference, the only difference was I was at a place where I was slightly more visible at a certain time online. Just the way social media works. There's been so many people that have come in and shown, nah, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I can do everything. I can move in all different places. And I feel like that's a credit for your background as well, like how you've come up. You haven't just come up in one place, man. You've been moved around, like you've been in different circles, and it all comes together.
Yeah, call it being the chameleon, you know. My mum actually, funnily enough, always used to say to me, she used to point out my Uncle Derek. She used to say, "What's your Uncle Derek? Yeah, he's a chameleon," because he used to be a car salesman. Yeah. So I used to work at the showroom. You know, one of them open air showrooms where they used to clear the cars out. Do you get what I'm saying? And I used to go down there and I used to clean the cars. Yeah, 14 years old, I used to go and clean the cars. And I always remember, bro. Yeah, if it's a white man that come into the car lot, "You white, mate? What's happening?" You know, I got the escort, I got the phone, I got that was back, yeah, that was the case, yeah, that was back, right? Black man walking, I said, my God, yes, you don't know, we have the thing, yes, we have the Lexus, there you see the Lexus, and it was seamless stuff.
Yeah.
You could have the two of them standing next to each other, and they just talk to the black man, yeah, man, you don't know, yeah, man, and talk to, yes, what, brother, no worries, yeah, I'll see you in a second, cool, brother, and you don't know, we love you. It was just seamless, and I was always fascinated by that ability to effectively communicate with your audience.
My coach, one of my first coaches, Sylvester Jacobs, I was in a basketball, it's a tryout, I think it's tryouts for county, and I've gone there, and at the time I think I was probably 16, 17, and something had happened, something had popped off, and I used to be like, I had a really bad temper, and someone had done something, and I popped off and was just like, yo, tried to fight him, they broke it up. I said, yo, I'm gonna catch you outside, didn't it? Like, so my coach is took me to one side, and he's like, right now, yeah, you're showing people a side of you that they don't need to see. And he's like, what you need to remember is we live in their world, they don't live in ours. So you have the ability to show their side and your side. At the moment, you're showing a side that you don't need to be showing. And from that moment, I was just like, rah, because what he was telling me was, bro, you're being mad ghetto right now, yeah, but that's not how we do it, eh? We ain't playing street ball. This is something different. So you need to go in there with something different. And from there, it just taught me, man, like, yeah, do you know what? You need to learn how to be able to switch between, they call it with languages, they call it code switching. So you talk different languages when you're polyglot, you speak different languages. Yeah. And he's like, that's how you need to be in real life. And it's something that's really helped me in, because in the last couple of years where I've gone more into the corporate world, being in a position where there's a lot of people who know what you are and who you are and can read you for who you are. So they don't, I'll go in there with hair braided and pink glasses and whatever and tattoos, and they're cool. But there's another bunch of people that see that and go, what? And you need to know how to be able to speak to them in that way. So it's something that, yeah, man, I get it 100%.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because although it's a great skill, you have to question why it's needed so much in the world of work and professionalism and stuff like that. And I've definitely made a point, I think, of breaking you down slowly, or being in certain environments where I'll break you down slowly. You know, I start off with the polite, professional etiquette with you. Slowly, as time goes on, I'll slowly ease you into, what's really happening here. Do you know what I mean? Because I believe, like, I've walked into corporate board meetings with a snapback and trainers on. Yeah. And everyone was like, are you lost, brother? And I'm like, no, I'm chairing the meeting today. You know what I'm saying to you? And they're like, oh, okay. And I pull out my iPad and put on my PowerPoint projector and start chairing the thing. By the time they leave, their mind's blown. Yeah. They're just like, how has this Negro from the ghetto come into my building today and chaired my meeting and was brilliant and knew stuff and was talking pure sense and had some great ideas, and I can't believe it. I'm going home. I need to tell my wife. You get what I'm saying? And blowing their mind. And I'm kind of made a point of breaking down those barriers and stuff like that. But I suppose we're going a bit off topic. But yeah,
nah, it's never off topic. It's on topic, man. But you know what as well though? It's funny as well, yeah, because again, same thing. Going into meetings, my pink do-rag. People know me. Look, it's right here, man. Pink do-rag, like walking like just rags. But I feel like there's because of where we come from and the places we've been, there's something you learn very quickly. You learn how to read people very quickly, because being in situations where reading somebody wrong can cost you your life. So there's a lot of things that you learn that you don't even know you know. And being able to connect with people really quickly and being able to read people really quickly. And not only that, especially in the corporate world, there's so much fluff and bullshit. So being from a place where fluff and bullshit will get you killed, you learn to cut through that, and you also learn to find out the people who are in the role because they came through the correct channels and they
Yeah.
ticked all the boxes and they get to the meeting and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's a
exactly
beautiful thing to be in that situation where they look at you because you're not in the suit. They think, oh, yeah, and you can just pull them up like, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now, and I don't care about that shit. We're dealing with real shit, and it's funny because the people who are really at the top, they're the same way. They say it all the time, man. The only color that matters is green, and a lot of times, yeah, that's not true. You got to break through them barriers, but once you get to those places, you realize that what people want is truth. They want the realness, man, and that's what we were raised on. That's how we were brought up. So we're ready for that world.
And I think, I suppose bringing it to the whole chameleon stuff and trying to put that into the context of the conversation, I think it's used a lot musically as well. That skill set is used a lot, you know, musically, in the sense that the reason why I'm able, I suppose, to conquer probably most different styles is because when listening to a style of music, I can put that skin on.
Yeah.
You know, if you give me half an hour listening to roots and culture, I can write a roots and culture song. You know, not because I can still, you know, half an hour's worth of listening.
Yeah.
Because in half an hour, I can embody what it means to be a roots and culture singing artist and emulate enough on an original basis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I could probably do that with most genres. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the chameleon skill set, I suppose, really does get used, where you can listen to a piece of music and just talk its language.
Yeah.
Speak the very same language back to that piece of music, regardless of where it originates from or stems from.
100%. So what we got for the rest of this year? I know you were saying before you got a couple of plans been kind of held back, but where are we gonna go? What are you gonna give us?
Cool, man. So yeah, I've not just started, but I now have A Grade Music Group, which I'm proud to say is the label that I started late last year.
Cool.
And I think what I've learned in everything that I've been doing up until this point is business. Yeah, I'm as I was saying earlier, when everyone left me, one thing I was lacking was an understanding of the business and an understanding of how to get things done and execute things.
Yeah.
It's funny because life made me go off in a direction that taught me business.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And taught me how to do business very, very well. Yeah. Very, very, very well. So now I come back with much larger amount of business acumen. And not only that, I know how to apply it and I know where I want to go in terms of business model and everything else. So the label is there and I'm taking all of the necessary steps to gain funding for my record label in the usual ways that a business does.
Yeah.
What they don't teach you on the road is that good credit goes a long way.
Yep. Don't spend rich people don't spend their own money, man.
You know, I've learned you can just move these digits around. So you know that's where we're at. So with that comes now the ability of me being able just to make endless music. I've obviously now, you know, got a bit more of a team back, and you know, the ability to make and create music is back in and it's installed. So once I was about to draw down the funds from the bank just before COVID came in, and I'm so glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I would have been sitting on some dust collecting interest right now. You know what I'm saying to you? Not really been able to do much with it. Or worse, I might have dipped into it to do some, you know what I mean? Some COVID-19 urgency, whatever.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying to you? So I'm actually glad that I didn't draw down. But, you know, I don't mind being honest like this because I think it's healthy. I think I've created a business model that young people can now learn.
Right.
And the business model is very, very simple. Get your credit up and, you know, get your limited company sorted. And you know what I'm saying to you? Get all of your media appointment rights sorted. Get all of your full understanding of copyright and publishing sorted. and then go forth and have a wonderful career.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? And that's literally is what I'm literally about to do. So the plan was just before COVID-19 took over. I had 6 singles.
Right.
I got way more than that in the bag, but that was the plan for release. 6 singles, but I was going to release them across Link Up TV and Grind Daily. So free on Link Up, maybe free on Grind Daily.
Yeah.
And adding to that would have been a bunch of freestyles spanning across a number of different platforms, a number of
I know the
different
vibes. I know the vibes.
yeah, you know about So
Yeah.
with that, I would have been able to obviously draw enough traffic back to then do another 3 or 4 singles on my own accord.
Yep.
For my own channel.
Yep.
But having a little bit of traffic now coming in. But because I would have had the tools to put the right promotional activities behind it, it probably would have landed on radio. We probably would have, seen it on a few blogs. We probably maybe might have seen it on your, MTV base, and when they do the new, what I mean, the fresh Kiss Fresh and all that. Yeah. We might have maybe had enough in the budget to push it that way. And yeah, that's what this year would have looked like, bro. So I would be coming to probably this point of the year and be looking at starting to promote a batch of shows.
Yeah.
That gonna allude to the release of, because up until this point only would have been single.
Yep.
And that bunch of shows would have alluded to the release of an EP containing some of said singles, bro. Yeah. That was the plan.
Well, bro, I appreciate you taking your time to speak to us. Those of you who were just listening sharply there, what Kasha just gave you was an actual business plan. That's actual breakdown, and it's funny because that exact business plan is something that we teach a lot of people that come through where to go, and we've seen that used to be our thing anyway, but now the labels have cottoned on, and that's the thing that they do. It's like it's a beautiful plan if you can get it to work and push things through and come with the right content, man. So I know for a fact, like, you know what I mean, you're gonna be alright. You're gonna you know what you're doing. You've always got the music. You've always got the product. So you know what I mean. It's like, it's modeling, man. It can only go one way. It's a recipe. You know what I mean. You add the right recipes. You add the right things. The cake's gonna be good.
That's it, fam. You know what I mean. So 2021, it's all just fired up again. Boom. That's what you're seeing me do. You know what I mean. And remember, I said it here. And like I said, I don't mind sharing because I want us to all do this.
Yeah.
You know. I think we can really have something now.
Yeah.
You know, and we can own it. You know what I mean? So that's one model. I'm sure there's lots of other models.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but let's own it and let's build something together, guys. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
Thank you for your time, man. Yeah, man, it's been enlightening, man. It's been a movie for real. It's been a movie for real. And like I said, man, I wish you all the best going forward. You know, I'm always here. Anytime you need a verse, you need a quick 16. The mic stays hot. You get me? Like the clip stays full. And yeah, I need to get you on some stuff as well. Like we've been slacking on that side of things. But thank you for your time, brother.
Love, bro.
Yeah, stay on the line, man. Let me say goodbye to the good people over here. Thank you all, man, guys. For this has been a journey, man. It's been a movie. It's a lot of knowledge got dropped. A lot of gems got dropped. I said to I was texting Kasha yesterday, and I said every time you talk, it's powers. Did not disappoint, man. So thank you all for tuning in. Please hit those like buttons. Please keep subscribing. We're gonna be back tomorrow, God willing, with another massive interview. So stay with us. Stay blessed. Peace to you. Love to you. Love to your families. We're out. Bless.